I started packing my luggage early in the morning of April 12th. In the bathroom, I put my toothbrush and razor in a plastic bag, put them in the bag that I take with me when I go to the gym, and put the medicines I take in my room every day in a plastic bag too, and put them in a big bag. I also put my laptop computer in my bag. After putting everything in the bag, I double-checked for any missing items, loaded the bag into the car, stopped at a Korean food store, bought Kimbaps, dumplings to eat on the way, and departed with my wife and daughter Alice. The weather was sunny, fresh, and pleasant. Google GPS suggested a quick route. It suggested taking Interstate 80 west, then 380 north, then 81 north, then 90 west. However, I took another highway because there are many curves and hills on Highway 80 West and Highway 81 North in Pennsylvania, making it difficult to drive. I decided to take the 17 North, then the 87 North, and then the 90 West. These highways have tolls, so I have to pay to go there, and it takes about 30 minutes more. But the highways are straight, and there's no hills and curves, so it is comfortable to drive. We started at around 10 in the morning, but on the way, we stopped for bathroom breaks and bought coffee and other drinks, so we stopped 2 or 3 times at gas stations. After checking in at the hotel reception desk, we went into the room, and I liked that the room was very comfortable and spacious. My wife had made a reservation online and she paid $150. She said the room was clean and spacious for the price. While my wife and daughter lay down and rested for a while, I pulled out my laptop computer, connected it to the hotel's Wi-Fi, and searched for and found material for Thursday's studies. I googled the article and decided that it was titled "Women of Ukraine Bravely Resist." After taking around a 30-minute break, we decided to go to the University of Rochester in advance. The distance from the hotel to the university was very close. It was about 8 minutes by car. I first looked for a parking space in a suitable spot, but there was no proper space to park. So I drove around the university campus for 20 to 30 minutes, finally found a suitable place, parked, and explored here and there. Although the buildings on the campus are old, they have been well maintained and felt clean and well organized. As the three of us wandered around, we found a lawn the size of a football field surrounded by buildings. The weather was sunny and the students seemed to be enjoying the spring's warm sunshine. Some students were sitting alone and studying on their laptops, while others were sitting together, probably discussing or chatting about things. Some students were lying on the lawn and chatting with each other. Those students looked very peaceful. I decided to make a video of my college tour by continuing to photograph the impressive buildings and peaceful students. After the school tour, we drove around downtown Rochester. There were not many people on the streets in the city. Many shops were closed and business seemed to be gone. I remembered hearing news a long time ago that many people had fled the city. It was said that Kodak Film was founded in the United States in 1888 in the city of Rochester and was a multinational corporation that created video products such as cameras and related services. It was a company that represented film and analog cameras. Rochester's contribution to the camera's history was very significant. Founder George Eastman lived in Rochester, so the company was headquartered there. However, he could not adapt to the age of digital cameras and eventually filed for bankruptcy protection on January 19, 2012. So Rochester used to be a lively city, but big companies such as Kodak Film failed to prepare for the advent of the digital age, eventually went bankrupt and shut down. I've read before that the company's employees had lost their jobs, had to flee Rochester with their families, and that it was once a ghost town. We are living in the digital age and the age of the fourth industrial revolution, so we need to prepare and respond quickly. because technology is changing too fast these days. As Rochester was also a city in the Rust Belt, in its heyday, the headquarters of Kodak and Xerox were located here. But due to Kodak's bankruptcy and Xerox relocation, Rochester almost suffered a major collapse like any other Rust Belt city. However, unlike other Rust Belt cities, the city government and the education community, including the University of Rochester, worked together to improve the situation to some extent. And now Rochester has become one of the best cities to find employment in the United States. After driving around the city of Rochester around 6 p.m., I had my daughter Google a good restaurant. And we went to a restaurant called Aledian because it is famous. The restaurant seemed to be using a house as a restaurant. My daughter ordered food for me. I told her to order a dish with fried rice. She said that the food is from the countries around the Mediterranean Sea. The dish was like hamburger meat with lots of vegetables and fruits mixed in, and grilled shrimp and beef. The food was delicious and the amount of food was very plentiful. I couldn't eat all of it, so I asked for a plastic container, brought it to the hotel, and ate it as a side dish while drinking Korean wine. It was around 8 in the evening when we returned to the hotel. I rested for 2 hours and went to bed. I woke up early in the morning, took a shower, and had a simple breakfast of cup noodles. My wife and daughter had oatmeal for breakfast. I had drunk Korean wine the day before and wanted to eat hot and spiced soup. We had breakfast and left for school. I went to the school gate and said that we had come for a college tour, so the man at the gate gave me a parking permit, and when I went to the designated parking lot and parked, and to the place where there are students who want to take the tour, there seemed to be about 50 students, including parents. There seemed to be about 100 people. The college tour group of about 100 people was divided into 5 teams. There were almost 20 people on each team, and the team had a leader. Senior or graduate students from the University of Rochester led the teams and explained the school and buildings. We couldn't enter classrooms because students were currently in class, but we visited several buildings. The first was the library. There were a lot of books on the shelves. When I went inside past the bookshelves, I saw a lot of students studying. In particular, there were many Asian students. I also visited the gym. The gym was quite large. There was a lot of exercise equipment and there were many students exercising. We also visited the dormitory. The dormitory looked bigger than my son's school, Northeastern University. There were 2 twin beds, 2 desks, and 2 wardrobes. It was a room occupied by 2 students. I wanted to visit the education building, but I couldn't find it, so I asked the leader where it was located and went to that building. After visiting the building, we had a light lunch at the Thai restaurant in front of the hotel. Went to Barnes & Noble to shop for Rochester branded clothing, and then returned to New Jersey. I was so sleepy on the way home that about 2 hours before reaching home, I asked my wife to drive for me, and we arrived home safely around 6 p.m.